This week,
we send off the seniors of varsity soccer.
we meet the fresh faces of MCHS.
Jazz band plays their heart out.
McHenry overcomes their fears.
We celebrate the spooky season.
The choir sings at the annual fall concert.
And seniors begin making college decisions.
All of that and more on the Warrior Weekly. Good morning, Warriors, and welcome to this week's edition of the Warrior Weekly, presented by Warrior Student Media. I'm Emberlyn Carlson.
And I'm Marco Visionek. Today we will welcome the new teachers of MCHS, jam out with our jazz band, learn about our new dual credit speech class, and dive into the college application process.
But first, we say goodbye to the seniors of the boys' soccer team.
That's you, Gianni. Come on.
Oh, wait, no.
As the 2023 soccer season comes to a close, our varsity boys soccer team celebrates their senior players, sending them off at senior night, an annual MCHS tradition. Coach Anthony Caruso is proud to see how far the team has come and to have taken part in their journey as athletes.
This team and the seniors, we stop after some games for food stops, and they like getting food after games and stuff, so we have a good time when we do that, so I'll miss that with this group especially. This group of kids, but especially the seniors, we lost a lot of good seniors from last year, and these seniors have stepped up and led the way and have led us to a pretty competitive season this year, even though we lost a lot from last year, and I'm proud of the way they led the way for us. I would say winning the McHenry tournament again for the third year in a row, McHenry soccer tournament, and then we just had a big win last week against Prairie Ridge, 2-1. They were 12-3, and we played McHenry style soccer and took it to them and had a big win against them. Yes, it was fun to see them grow, throughout their career here at McHenry High School, and I know they won't be strangers. When they leave McHenry, they'll come back and visit, and I look forward to seeing them to see how they do in the future.
The MCHS soccer team has grown very close and stays motivated on the field from the bonds they built as a team. Captain Nate Ludke reflects on the highlights of his soccer season.
Favorite part of soccer, probably just bonding with the team. Like, we go out to eat after games and go out to breakfast after morning practice, so I think getting to know the team has probably been the most fun part. Just the environment, like the coaches, everyone's so nice, and I don't know, they've been so welcoming to me, and yeah, it's a good environment.
Senior night honors all that the upperclassmen have devoted to the sport and their growth throughout their soccer careers as they wrap up their final high school soccer season, looking back at how far they've come. Well,
growing up playing soccer for like 12 years, it's just been another way to progress my skills, and going into college, I'm interested in playing soccer in college, so it's helped with getting filmed, could send out to coaches and stuff.
Congrats to all our senior soccer players. We wish them all the best in their next steps. Reporting for the Warrior Weekly, we're Caden Bunting, Vanessa Etherton, Madison Harvey, and Layla Moreno.
Tomorrow night is our fall band concert at the upper campus. Here our MCHS bands perform for the first time on campus this year. Doors open at 6:30 at the upper campus auditorium.
Next, being a first-year teacher can have its ups and downs. Warrior Student Media meets some of MCHS's newest recruits.
Each year, MCHS hires new teachers. Mr. Nick Valenziano and Mr. John Aubert, two upper campus teachers, talk about why they would want to teach here at McHenry.
The thing that stood out for me from McHenry was their mission and seemingly how they really cared for the students. It's something that kind of stood out to me because I went into teaching originally because of the pandemic. Seeing that there's a teaching shortage and how people's mental health were kind of declining in the social view and on the news, that's all you heard about. I kind of thought that, I'm okay at helping people. Let's try to learn how to do that with certain subjects. Yeah, I was anxious to start. I was nervous just to see what my true capabilities were, to kind of just start the machine that is curriculum and teaching. But yeah, it was so far so good.
Yeah, so McHenry's home to me. It's where I live. It's where my wife and I are raising our family. It's also where I attended high school. So McHenry is very important and near and dear to my heart. So that's why I want to be at McHenry.
MCHS freshman campus welcomes a new Spanish teacher. Miss Melindy Horan describes how teaching runs in her family.
I was born and raised in the Dominican Republic, and my mom was a teacher in middle school. My uncle was a teacher also, so I grew up looking how this profession works. I saw my mom all the time working in the house, and she was a big part of the whole community because over there is a little bit different. The role of the teachers is a little bit different. So I just saw how respected she was, the opportunities she had to help young people in the community. And then when I moved here, I knew I wanted to be a Spanish teacher. I wanted to share my culture and also to stay in contact with my language.
If you see these new teachers in the hallway, give them a warm welcome. Reporting for the Warrior Weekly, we're Lee McClellan, Olivia Townsend, Carter Neiman, and Isabel Berry.
Now, Jazz Band performed at their first concert of the year at the freshman campus this past Wednesday. Warrior Student Media was there to catch every note.
Last Wednesday, the McHenry Jazz Bands had their first concert of the year at the freshman campus theater. Students in both bands rehearsed in school during 0 hour and on their own time. Seniors Audrey Dunwoody and Owen Lard put in the time to make sure the band sounded great.
Outside of class and outside of rehearsal, a lot of what I practiced was just technique and just making sure that I could physically do everything that I needed to in the pieces.
So a lot of what I did is I just played with backgrounds over and over again, kind of to see what works.
With tons of solos spanning across 7 songs, many students were able to have their moment in the spotlight. Lard and Dunwoody both had solos that made the performance one to remember.
I was going into it really nervous that I wasn't going to do well, but I kind of got lost in it a little bit. I started enjoying it while I was playing it.
When Jazz Ensemble finished our last piece and everyone stood up and we were all just it was just a rush of exhilaration and yes, we did it. And we were all looking to the audience and smiling.
Jazz Club creates an encouraging atmosphere for students in both bands to shine with confidence. Band director Ryan Cabildo shares what he thinks made the performance such a special environment.
Seeing the engagement of not just the audience, but also people in the band and from the other bands with what was going on stage. For example, if somebody is playing something really cool or really awesome, then their colleagues hype them up and cheer them on, which is honestly the core of it, right? Which is really great to see happen.
Congrats to both bands on an amazing first performance. Reporting for the Warrior Weekly, we're Coco Levesque, Emmanuel Sanchez, Jack Kearns, and Jeffrey Norris.
Need a new mattress? The MCHS band programs are selling mattresses from 9 to 5 on Saturday in the Upper Campus cafeteria. Go support our bands and their trips around the United States.
Next, MCHS is offering more and more dual credit classes. One of our newest classes, Dual Credit Speech, looks to make our students into great public speakers.
MCHS offers a new dual credit speech class, a class dedicated to giving speeches. Seniors Tori Sorensen and Travis Pasternak explain why they decided to take the class this year.
I took dual credit speech because I was excited about getting a college credit, and I would rather take a public speaking class in high school with my peers rather than in a big college lecture hall.
I took dual credit speech because I thought it would be good for my public speaking. I mean, I think I'm decent at it, but I think it would just help.
Senior Ahmad Shield explains how dual credit speech is structured compared to their other classes.
The way it's run is very laxed. We learn about the speech, what's important about the speech, and then we write our own, whereas a lot of other classes are structured in almost lecture-like settings. It's a great way to develop the public speaking skill set because it's one of the classes that's not really thought about but is necessary for a lot of day-to-day tasks. You do a lot of public speaking without realizing it, and this is a great way to introduce that, plus it covers actual speeches you might have to give.
Speech differs from other English classes. Ms. Kirby explains why the class is valuable for students to take.
It gets you prepared for the real world, which involves a lot of speaking regardless of what it looks like. Currently, my class has been talking about special occasion speeches, which is opportunities outside of your job or your education where you might have to public speak, like your wedding vows might be one, or a eulogy might be another. There are always opportunities where we have to speak in front of others, and rather than be taken aback and feel like this has never happened to you before, getting the practice now in a controlled environment will make you feel more confident later on.
Taking a dual credit speech can be useful. Students in dual credit speech explain how being in this class is beneficial to them.
Because getting it done in high school can help you in the future and help you save money.
I get the most experience from it. I think it's a lot more hands-on than a lot of the other classes, like any other English class. My favorite part is just how interactive it is. Like, as I said, it's just fun.
We're glad to have dual credit speech introduced to us as a new class. If you're interested in taking dual credit speech next semester or next year, please contact your counselors. Reporting for the Warrior Weekly were Ari Juarez, Nate Gibson, and Ellie Matoshik.
Now, many of you may know the family-owned Farm and Garden Center across the street from the upper campus.
This season, we get in the fall spirit with Harms Farm.
Located across the street from very own McHenry High School, Harms Farm is a cute family-centered adventure farm that offers plenty of activities. Trudy Bear, a worker at Harms Farm, explains how Harms sets up for the season.
Well, everything we do to set up fall around here. It's fun for kids. We have all kinds of activities. We have lots of giftware and fun items for the kids. We have apple cider donuts and carameled apples and pumpkins and everything you need for fall.
Harms incorporates many elements of fun that makes their farm enjoyable to visit. Max Newton describes on how quickly decorations and attractions popped up.
This is my first time being in the season because I started in May, but I don't know, it's really cool to just see everything change. Like the animals, they just kind of appeared out of nowhere. So one day I just came into work and there was a ton of animals there. I'm like, that's cool.
We change everything for Halloween. We empty out greenhouses. We create all kinds of fun activity for the kids where we used to have plants. And we change everything around here. We'll do it again at Christmas time.
Harms Farm is a huge staple in McHenry and entertains people throughout all their seasons. We cannot wait to see what they plan for next year. Reporting for the Warrior Weekly, we are Colin Janowski, Alina Noel, and Dennis Turkin. Have a great week, Warriors.
When you head to the first floor of the upper campus, you can often hear singing coming from down the halls.
Our MCHS choirs had their first concert of the season this past Tuesday. Warrior Student Media has the story.
A yearly tradition, the Fall Choir Concert took place last Tuesday, October 10th. The concert features traditional choral performances that are designed to showcase the choir's abilities.
So some of the songs are just non-negotiable. I think they're going to be a good fit for their voices, and it's going to be a stretch for them to learn and grow as a vocalist. As I'm going through and listening to each ensemble the first week or so, I'm kind of gauging the abilities that they have and how far I can push them, and I'll try to give them stuff that might be too easy, just right, and probably way too hard. And I'll do at least one or two of the right where they belong, and I'm always going to try to stretch them. And so from my choice of libraries and just their overall sense of ability as they come in is where I kind of gauge it.
The Fall Concert features a variety of performances that highlight the different choirs at MCHS. One of these groups consisted of 7 freshmen who had a few days to prepare a special piece called The Tide Rises.
I think it went a lot better than I originally thought it was gonna, because even just practicing like leading up to it, I was like, this is really good. But then after hearing ourselves while we're performing it, I was like, wow, that's really cool.
For some members of the chorus, like senior Vic Camacho, the highlight of the concert is witnessing the improvement of their peers.
I think getting to watch the other choirs just perform is really cool, just because you see their growth throughout the years, especially the freshmen, because I got to see them in 8th grade last year, and they had a huge impact.
Another choir, Surround Sound, is the most exclusive vocal group at MCHS. They performed 3 songs in Latin, which showcased their talents as a group.
I have to talk about Surround Sound. It's our top group. There's a movement that is maybe not their favorite, but they have some really beautiful choral tones that when they line up, they really just, like Heaven's Gate opens, and there's just this magic, and I could see it in their faces. I got all emotional. It was really cool.
The Fall Concert serves multiple purposes, including evoking emotion from the audience. One song in particular, Child of Wonder, created a powerful reaction.
Not even about myself, it's not even about the singers, it's about the impact that concert choir had on a song we did called Child of Wonder. And we did some lighting in there, and as they sang the song, the lighting kind of changed and brought them into the song. And it was really impactful. I heard a lot of my students say that their parents were really moved by that.
Moving forward, the choir is preparing for their holiday concert in December. Reporting for the Warrior Weekly were Madison Harvey, Grace Mueller, and Allie Everhart.
Finally, as we enter into the college application season, the seniors at MCHS take their first steps towards their futures.
College application season is renowned for bringing feelings of stress. With different types of applications, students can be confused on how and where to apply. However, it doesn't have to be as difficult as it seems. Counselors, as well as recent grads, give their insight on the topic.
You start with the application itself. College applications can always be found on the college websites. If it's not front and center on the front page, you'll always go to the admissions office, specifically the undergraduate admissions office. Some schools offer different types of applications. So for instance, U of I has their own institutional application, which you can use, or you can use the common application. You go through the process, you'll eventually go into school links and enter those schools in the college application manager.
Mr. Curtis Menke gives insight into a system that students should follow, including when to apply as well as when the FAFSA should be completed.
Every once in a while I get a question, the FAFSA, especially with this year's seniors, the FAFSA is not coming out until December. Should I wait to apply to colleges for the FAFSA? And the answer is no. Just work on those applications now. It doesn't really matter the order that it happens in, but especially with the FAFSA not coming out until December this year, go ahead and get those applications done. It can be very overwhelming. And again, first things first, some people like to either sit down and just plow through the entire thing in one sitting. However, these applications do typically allow you to save your progress. So if it's easier for two, whether it be for time, whether it be just for how you need to structure things with your life and your stress, if it's easier for you to take things in sections or take things, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, whatever works.
As a recent graduate himself, Mr. John Aubert speaks on how students should take advantage of the time they have left here and offers words of wisdom on how to appease colleges.
Definitely by doing research, like what school is right for you, what's most affordable. If you have any careers in mind, to make sure you kind of maybe have that in the back of your head when applying to certain schools or thinking about sending in applications. Definitely backing up a lot of your admissions essays or scholarship essays. A lot of the prompts use similar things. I'd highly recommend applying to multiple schools. It's always good to have a bank of schools that you can kind of go back on to ensure you're ready for post-secondary education. It'll be over soon. Just keep your head down, keep on going, keep on trucking, 'cause it'll be worth it. It's the next step of your life that's so important, where you learn how to grow tremendously. And I think it's probably the most pivotal moment that you'll have in your lives until you get a job after college. So just try to have as much fun with it, because it goes by like that.
Don't be afraid to reach out to counselors and teachers alike about the college application process. Reporting for the Warrior Weekly were Neil Fritz, Lucia Smith, and Kate Watley.
That's all for today's show. Be sure to follow the Warrior Weekly on all social media platforms, including Twitter, Insta, and TikTok.
For Marco Vizhnevek and all of Warrior Student Media, I'm Emberlyn Carlson. Have a great week, Warriors.